You think you're a fool, you'll act like a fool. You think you poor, you act the way they tell you poor people supposed to act. Huh? Plant. You want to grow corn, you plant a seed. It works with everything else. You want to get a new car, buy the keychain and put it away. The car come to you. That's what the real God is about.
Don't stop. Keep going. No matter what anybody says, you are worth it. And here's the thing about worthy. Get to worthy. Whatever you do, get to worthy. What does that mean? Understand that you are worth it. You deserve the good things. If God said it, you deserve it. And he did. His thoughts of you are pure, and he wants to give you a hope. Just don't give up. If I can tell you anything, don't give up.
I've never seen anybody dedicate themselves to something completely and fail. I've never seen somebody eat right, go to the gym every day, train really hard, and not be in good shape. I've literally never seen it. The universe is extremely giving. If you actually try, and you actually want it, and you're actually not making excuses, lying, talking shit, you're gonna get what you want.
The quote says, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked into it. That's what the storm is all about. When you can't control what's happening to you, control how you respond to it. That's where your power is.
One of the things that saddens me the most about the world we live in is that we oftentimes don't have the luxury to process the whys. We know that things happen. We feel the things happening to us, but oftentimes we don't make the time, or we don't have the time to process the why. Why were we so angry? Why did we fight each other so much? We had no compassion for each other. We were the worst of ourselves. And you know, if you ask me, it's because we were scared. As humans, we become so comfortable knowing that we forget how uncertain life is. We get taught every single day that we know. We get comfortable knowing. So you think you'll always know. What's the traffic gonna be like? You know. What's the weather gonna be like? You know. Oh, it'll rain on Thursday. You understand what a magic trick that is? If you had that technology 500 years ago, you were like, oh, it'll rain on Thursday. People would be like, we take that for granted, but it's also made us forget that life is uncertain. We don't know. The pandemic showed it. It exposed every single one of us. And I think the thing that we didn't take a moment to think about is the why. Why were we so angry? Why were we so frustrated? It wasn't because of movies. It wasn't because we couldn't go out to parties. It wasn't because we couldn't go to the mall or any of that shit. It's because we lost each other. I lost you. You lost me. We lost this. You know? That's the real thing people were frustrated about.
Commandment to you is this: you love one another just as I have loved you. And if that doesn't grab you, maybe this one will. Your name may not appear down here in this World's Hall of Fame. In fact, you may be so unknown that no one knows your name. The Oscars and the praise of men may never come your way, but don't forget, God has rewards that he'll hand out someday. This crowd on earth, they will soon forget when you're not at the top. They will cheer like mad until you fall, and then their praise will stop. Not God, he never does forget. And in his Hall of Fame, by just believing on his Son, forever there's your name. I tell you, friend, I wouldn't trade my name, however small, that's written there beyond the stars in that celestial hall, for all the famous names on earth, or the glory that they share. I'd rather be an unknown here and have my name up there. God bless you.
The best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. But you always want to outwork your potential. You know, as hard as you believe you can work harder than that.
Anyone can make you smile, but only certain people can make you happy. there's a difference, you know?
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Nothing in life is promised except death. If you had the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.
What makes you hate yourself? Is it the red shoes?
What?
Is it the red shoes?
No.
Are you sure? Because they're fucking red. Don't you be smiling like that. You'll fuck everything up. If you smile like that too much, you'll want to stick around. You're so hard on yourself. I love that you have such high standards. But those aren't high standards. That's called perfection. And most people overestimate what they can do in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in 2 or 3 decades. And you haven't been around long enough to have those extra 2 or 3 decades. So don't fuck it up. There's time. And if you give yourself just a little bit of time, and if you be a little more loving to yourself, I think you're gonna find you got a lot to give.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life, because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place.
And he was trying to make it around the turn. And his daddy came out there. And he got up under Dennis. And he was hopping. The race was over. Everybody else had gone through the finish line. And his daddy was pulling him along, saying, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Don't stop him. It's not about winning. It's about finishing. I taught my boy to finish. And I don't care if it takes all night. We're gonna make it across the finish line. And I came to tell you this morning, I don't care if it takes all night. I don't care if I have to cry and crawl and groan. I'm gonna cross.
There are people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season. There are people who come in your life like boosters for a rocket. If you ever watch a rocket go into space, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude. Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes that you're going to. So don't be afraid when they fall off. They're not bad people. They just couldn't go where you're going.
When you begin to combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, when you are creating from the field, or you're directing your conscious intention towards a future, and you are elevating your emotional state or elevating your energy to this point right in your heart, you're going to begin to create a different signature into the field. You're going to begin to broadcast new information that's going to be carried on a new frequency or a new energy. And now whatever you broadcast into the field, in a sense, is your experiment with destiny. And if energy is frequency, and frequency carries information, then once energy makes it to the heart, and the heart begins to become more coherent, and it begins to emanate a measurable magnetic field, and that field is energy, and energy is frequency, then that frequency can hold a thought
of your future. It can hold the thought of a change in your health, a change in your life, a change in your career.
Because nothing is more destructive to success than limiting beliefs. It's like having a governor on a Ferrari. Just imagine you have the sleekest Ferrari with 500 horsepower, 12 valves, 4 valves per cylinder. But if the governor's on the engine stopping the flow of gas, the car ain't going over 55. You can't exceed the capability of the governor, and you can't exceed the capability of your limiting belief. It stops you from charging forward when you should, and causes you to move backwards when you shouldn't. Empowering beliefs lead to a lifetime of joy and happiness, and disempowering beliefs lead to a life of quiet desperation. It's the way it is. You cannot rise above the level of your limiting beliefs.
It is not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. If you think it's happiness that makes you grateful, think again.
Whatever you focus on grows. The only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. Why would you hold on to anything that's not serving you?